One of my biggest things that I feel guilty of being a dad is not getting enough time with my kids. Now, I built a business with the idea of having even more free time to spend time with my kids, but then it became much more than I ever expected, and it continues to grow. I'm over here building an empire. Now, this empire isn't for me. It's not an ego play. It's a legacy. It's building something that I can pass down to my kids and they can pass down to theirs. That's part of building the largest community of dads in the United States with the plan of becoming international. Fatherhood was never meant to be a solo mission, but somewhere along the way, we were told to figure it out alone. And today, when we do show up with strength, society calls it toxic. That ends here. Dad Tribes is where fathers rise together, where brotherhood replaces isolation, and where leadership at home creates freedom for their families. This is the Dad Tribes podcast, where we're turning fatherhood into a brotherhood. Welcome in. Now, when you build an empire, you don't have a lot of free time on your plate. You spend a lot of time working and creating and building. And one thing that we do at my house every Friday is we do family movie night. And so last night was a Friday night. At the time that I'm recording this video, it's Saturday. And I talked to my kids before we started the movie. And I told them, I said, look, guys, I want you to all know I miss you so much. And I am so sorry for how much I'm having to work right now and build this out. And I just want you to know that I feel really bad about it. And I really miss all of you. And I have 6 kids. My 5-year-old daughter said something that it stopped me in that moment. And before I jump in and explain what she said to you, I want to explain something to you. Something that we kind of forget being dads is we forget that kids, the way that they perceive things, the way their brains work, the way they think through things is not as complex or complicated as the way we think as grown adults, right? So last weekend, we took the kids to a state park in Arkansas to go see waterfalls. It was a Sunday. It was a nice day, so we just decided, hey, let's go to the state park. We hiked. We had a whole day together. It was great. All right. And then last night, I'm sitting down with my kids for family movie night, and my 5-year-old says, "Daddy, what are you talking about? We just went hiking, and you spent a lot of time with us." And when I heard that, it stopped me in my tracks because for me, all I see in my head is how much time I'm not getting with them. All I see is how much time I'm not at home, how much time I'm at work. I mean, right now it's a Saturday and I'm recording this video in my office 30 minutes from my house because I got to rebuild a lot of stuff. I got to do some trainings for my chapter owners. There's just a lot of work I have to do and I need to catch up on that I can't do in the middle of the week. And so I had to come to work. And when I looked at the way she said that, it just made me stop and realize, think back to your childhood, right? For those of you that had active parents, I didn't have the most amazing parents. My dad wasn't around, which is why, a big reason I built Dad Tribes was I knew what it was like to not have a dad that was active. But my mom was around, and she wasn't the best person in the world, but she wasn't the worst either. And when I look back, and a lot of my core memories are the times we went camping. The 4th of July parties, the Christmas mornings, right? There's a lot of memories that I have from my childhood. And I'm not like a lot of people where they can remember everything. I just have core memories and blurs of moments of from my childhood. And when I look back, I don't think about the times my dad wasn't there. I don't remember the times that my mom wasn't around. My childhood, all I remember in my head are the core memories of the times we spent together. And so I think we forget that as dads. We get so caught up in feeling guilty because we have to provide for our families. We have to work. And oftentimes, a lot of you may be in marriages or relationships where they make you feel guilty for the amount of work that you're having to do to provide for the family. Other ones, you just beat yourself up, right? We are our own worst enemy. As fathers, we get stuck in our head all the time. So we feel a lot of guilt when we have to work that overtime or take on extra hours or even get a second job so we can stay afloat, so we can keep the bills paid, so that our family doesn't have to suffer. And a lot of the world right now is stuck in survival and just money's tight. The world's gone through a big shift. And so when she said this to me, it made me stop and realize, man, it's not about the quantity of time, it's about the quality, right? Sometimes I get so stressed out in my work and what I'm doing and what I'm building. If you don't know, if you've never built a movement before, when you get in the public eye, there's a lot of haters, a lot of, it's just a lot of stress at work, especially when you're building something as big as what we're building here. And sometimes it gets so stressful that when I go home, I hug my kids every time. As soon as I walk in the door, I always do that without fail. But there's been days where I just go lay in bed and I pull my phone out and I just scroll TikTok. And it's because I feel so overwhelmed from the day and so just mentally beat up that I need a moment. I need to just relax for a minute. But what I didn't realize is that those few hours that I get a day, right? The hour in the morning, the couple hours in the evening before it's bedtime, I don't need to be on TikTok scrolling around. I don't need to be doing anything else. I just need to be present. And we don't have to go do anything extravagant. I don't have to go take them to a water park on Wednesday evening. I don't have to go do anything absolutely amazing or life-changing. It doesn't even have to be a core memory. All they need to know is that when dad is around, he's present. There's a difference between being physically there and presently there. And I think a lot of us get caught up in the stress of work, right? If you're in blue collar, you come home just beat up, just exhausted. If you're in an office job, you're in a different level of exhaustion, right? Mentally exhausted from staring at screens all day or dealing with problems or solving problems or whatever. And we get home and sometimes we feel like we just need to relax for a minute. But I think if we stop and realize, man, it doesn't matter if you only get 30 minutes a day with your kids. It doesn't matter if you get an hour. It doesn't matter if you get 10. What matters to them is not the amount of time that you're spending with them. It's what you're doing in the time that you're with them. That's all they care about. My 5-year-old, she stopped me in my tracks. She stopped me from feeling bad about myself. And I don't think that's what she was trying to do. I think my comment confused her. She was confused by my comment because she was like, wait, we just did all these amazing things together. We're sitting down right now for a family movie night. What do you mean that you feel bad for not spending time with us? It confused her because we were spending time together in the moment I'm talking about it. So guys, I want to give you permission right now. Go work. Go provide for your family. Build your empires. Get that second job. Start that side hustle. Do what you need to do to provide for your family, not just today, not just for the bills tomorrow, but to set them up for a future that we all want our children to have, to give them an easier start to life than maybe you had. I'm giving you permission to do that. And just when you are home, whether it's an hour, 30 minutes that you get with your kids, spend that time with them. Focus on them. Play a board game together. Play a video game together. Just talk. Watch their videos they made on their phone. My kids love doing that. And just be present in the time that you are home and try, I'm not going to say stop, but let's try to stop feeling guilty for the times that we can't be there because they aren't thinking about that. That's not going through their head, right? What's going through their head is, are you present when you are there? Especially when they're younger, right? As they get older, they get more aware. But the younger kids, man, it meant the world to me for my 5-year-old to say that to me. She took that guilt immediately off of my shoulders, which was weighing heavy on me on top of everything else, on top of building an empire, running a business, having employees, making sure paychecks are covered, making sure rent's covered, having the bills, making sure kids have food. Like this, it's a lot of pressure being a man. Especially from myself, who's the sole provider. I'm a sole provider with no salary. I built a business, so my income depends on my work and the value of my work and how much effort I'm putting in. And so I guess what I'm trying to say here is give yourself a break. You're being too hard on yourself. Make sure that you're just being present. When you have a day off, make sure you're not spending that day laying around in bed, no matter how much you want to. Trust me, I would have loved to spend all day laying in bed. I needed a day like that. But as fathers, we all know it's not about us. It's about our kids. It's about taking care of them. It's about providing for them. But it's also about being there so that they know that we were there. When my 5-year-old said that, what I realized was going hiking and seeing the waterfall it's a core memory for her. That is something she's going to remember when she's an adult. She's not going to remember how often dad was at work. She's going to remember when she thinks of dad, she's going to remember going hiking. She's going to remember when I would come home and tickle her and fight her, right? Or call her a poo-poo eater. She's going to remember Friday movie nights. And she's probably going to want to do the same with her kids. She's going to remember the times that I was there, not the times that I wasn't. As long as when I was there, as long as the times that I was there, I was being present. As long as she knew that when daddy's home, he's paying attention to me and to my siblings and to the family. So guys, if you're going home, playing on your phone, scrolling on TikTok, immediately going and laying in bed, stop yourself. Take 30 minutes, take an hour. Force yourself to put your stress and the pressure to the side and just be present. And work as much as you need to provide for your family, because that's what a good man does. I'll see you on the next one.